Hey there, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches live stream, right? It's a live stream, Tuesday night live stream. I am joined here by my good friend Wolfgang, who is still in the Americas, right? People know where you live, where you're at right now, right? So I feel bad like saying that you're at a certain location if you want to be, down low. But think, you're Wolfgang, man,
hmm
Hey, look. So Dib was supposed to come on tonight, and you're saying that he's a no show.
Left us hanging, I think. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
unreliable man. Yeah,
That's okay. That's okay. We don't need him because we got a really fun, hopefully a fun show tonight. Anyway, Wolfie, what do you have on wrist?
for my good buddy Joey, I'm wearing the Pro Prof, his
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah, he hates that watch. I love that watch, by the way, though. I gotta tell you, such a cool piece, very unique. Hey, I got the hand heart. I just did a review on this one, Wolfie. I really,
Oh, it,
I'm
yeah,
really, I'm really smitten with this one. So
good looking watch. Yeah, on
yeah,
this
yeah,
strap, not
yeah.
on the previous one.
I knew I had to get it in hand and have it in the collection at some point. I didn't know like how I was gonna feel about it. But I love it. I love it, and I love it on the hand heart bund, and it's just a good looking piece. Very
It is.
simple and good looking. Anyway, hey, let's get through your favorite part here, the saying hello to the chat, and then we'll jump right into our little fun game that we're gonna have this evening. That I'm hoping to get a lot of action from the chat. We're gonna do some polls. We're gonna get through this and let's have a little fun. Hey, Chaz is here. I hope there's not gonna be a test. No test. No test at all. No test at all. Just gonna have a little fun. Steve Time Hill's here. How you doing? Bill K is here. Good to see you. Marceau, what's up, buddy? How you doing? We're in the L'Oreal tonight. Nice. How about a great idea show? We got the Bobby Legs live stream has a bone to pick with the Hobby Bobby, aka the intern, about what's going on tonight. So we'll get into that a little bit before we start. I'll explain, Wolfie. Maison is here. How you doing, Maison? What's going on? Um, Scott Tarlow. Hey, wearing his new Chopard 1860 salmon dial. Very nice. Hobby Test One. Are you wearing a Swatch Group watch tonight? And you are, Wolfie. At least you are for sure.
Yes, sir.
Symphony Rivers, we all know Calvin Klein is going to win this tournament. They didn't make it. A couple of them had to drop. Hey, we didn't know that Calvin Klein was part of it, right? If you actually go, I'm pretty sure Symphony for the Devil. If you go onto the Swatch Group website, you don't see Calvin Klein. But if you ask ChatGPT, um, they list Calvin Klein. So I don't know. I don't know. Is the website not updated? Do they actually own the Calvin Klein timepiece part of Calvin Klein? Who knows? Um, Oscar, good to see you. Hey, thanks for joining us this evening. And I think we got everybody. And if I miss anybody, I'm sure I'll see you guys in the chat. Okay, so here's the inspiration for this evening's topic, Wolfie. And I'm a little bit, late to the party, but FIFA had their Euro Cup, right? That they have like what every 4 years? They just had that recently, right? Within the last month or so, and Copa America here in the Western Hemisphere also went on. So I was inspired. I thought, like, wouldn't it be great if we can do something like that with a Squatch group and pick the top brand, or at least have the chat pick the top brand, right? And so I thought, okay, let me try to put these in groups, right? I didn't really feel like going through the rigmarole of doing like a bracket, because I didn't know, because with a bracket you kind of have to like pre-rank them, and that is subjective, right? I mean, there's an objective way to do it, and it's not the greatest way, but there is an objective way to do it. But otherwise, I felt like, if I do the groups, and with these soccer tournaments, when they put somebody in a group, it's like a random draw, right? So I figured, okay, well, you know what, that's easy. I don't have to worry about like pre-ranking them, so I could put them UEFA. Sorry, thank you, Maison, not FIFA. So I can um, you know, put them through like a random name picker, right? And so take away the pre-ranking stuff, right? And so it spit out like as soon as one team came out, I removed them and put them in a group, and then put in another group, and so I had three groups, right? I'm only doing 14 brands, and so like a group of five, two groups of five, and one group of four. And that group four, the way it came out, the group of four, that was like I don't know how familiar you are, Wolfgang, but there's always like a group of death in one of these tournaments where like a couple of like the top teams get like put together, and this. That group of four was definitely the group of death. It was like Omega, Brigade, and Blancpain, and like somebody else, like maybe like Mito. And so like earlier, we were talking, and Hobby Bobby was on there, aka the intern was on there, and I had mentioned about the plan, and he was like, "Oh no, 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 oh no, that is just a hard." You heard him. He was like, "That is a horrible idea." He's like, "There's no way you can do that," and I'm like, "Well, Mister Intern, like, what is your big idea, right?" And he's like, "You got to pre-rank them. You got to rank them. It's better to do it this way. Blah 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 blah." And I was like, "No, no, no. This is, I just thought of this. I'm not going to spend too much time with this. We're going to have fun. It's all about having fun, intern. Like, what have you done lately, intern? Right? You know, um,
Nothing.
nothing. Right, right, nothing. Right." And he talks just like that. Yeah, yeah. And um and so so like now it's in my head, right, throughout the course of the day. Now like the intern is like talking to me in my head, right, and I'm like, okay, maybe he was right. And so like, how do I do this bracket and pre-rank them, because you have to pre-rank them, and like what are the parameters and whatnot. So I'm laying all this groundwork, guys, so you can just get an idea of why the rankings the way they are when I put them up. I went by revenue, right? I found it's very hard to find these details about what each unit is doing under the Swatch group, but the intern, came through just a little bit and found something on Chat GBT that kind of gave you the rundown, at least of the top 10, right? And so the remaining four that didn't make it, which was like Rado, Geo, Union Glasuta, and Jacques Draws. I threw them in and randomly put them in there. They're doing like you'll see. So I threw them in there. Okay. Having said that, I know that was a long explanation, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a background. The intern's going to turn on you. He already has turned on me, Steve. Um, anyway, so just like the intern, he shows his head when he disapproves of anything I do, right? But when I really need him, like, where is he? Anyway, enough of the intern. We're giving him too much attention. Anyway, so I'm going to show you I'm going to show you the brackets. We're going to go over the first bracket, and then we're going to go over the second bracket, and then I'm going to put it up to a poll when we'll have like the two brands go up against each other, and then we'll move along, and hopefully we can get through this pretty quickly. I don't think it's going to be that long. Jackie draws, yeah, Jackie draws. All right, I'm from Jersey. What do you want from me? Jackie draws. Um, okay, so are you ready, Wolfie? I'm gonna
Yes,
present to you. I'm gonna share my
I'll
screen.
figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. Um, let's see here. Okay. Okay, so the first side of the bracket, here it is. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully, you guys can see it. The number one by revenue in the Swatch group is, according to this list that we got from ChatGPT, is Omega, right? So Omega is number one, and the way it works out, because of the uneven, we don't have a perfect like 16 brands or 8 brands to make this bracket work. We have to do what is called a kind of like a play-in game right here, where they have a bye in the first round, and they'll play the winner of Certina and Mito. And I think Certina and Mito were eighth and ninth on the list. That you can flip them back and forth. One might be ninth, one might be eighth. Anyway, this in general is a tough bracket because sales wise, um, the next um, bracket, you have Longines as number two, and Tissot is number three on that list, right? Not it should not be surprising because, right? I mean, Longines and Tissot are very very popular brands, more affordable than Omega and Breguet and Blancpain, and some of these other brands, right? So it makes sense that their sales numbers, they probably go through a lot of volume, right?
That's
Uh,
revenue numbers.
I'm sorry.
That's revenue by yeah.
Revenue according to this list that popped up from ChatGPT,
Yeah.
which I think makes sense, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
we know Omega produces a lot of watches and they sell a lot of watches, and so does Longines and Tissot, and we know brands like Breguet, Blancpain probably don't produce as much, even though their price point on them might be higher. Now, look, one other thing to note. So I go over this list with the intern, and he's like, well, maybe he's like one bracket looks way heavier than the other one, right? So we can agree that from a horological perspective, having Omega, Breguet, and Gazut, and Blancpain in the same side of the bracket, it's really really rough, right? I mean, we're gonna knock off a lot of high end brands here. So he thought of, well, perhaps maybe we just rank them by like average like average price per unit, right? Average price, and the way it worked out, according to him, it was almost very very similar. Like all the heavy hitters would face each other early on in this tournament anyway. So we just stuck with revenue, right? There was not much of a difference. It's not perfect, but this is what we got. Okay, so we're gonna start this off. We're gonna start this off first with Certina and Mito, and Wolfie. Any thoughts um, on these two brands? I think you've owned Mito before.
I
Um,
did.
But okay, and so and have you ever owned Certina?
No, but I've seen a few.
Uh-huh.
I don't know much about the two brands. Are we picking like what kind of my personal favorite, just personal taste,
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, I
or
think
like
that's
what
fair.
I consider? I mean, what else would be there, right? Better
Yeah,
brand.
yeah, exactly. Like like what like, just with your personal taste from your experience.
Yeah, I'm going Mido. I don't know much about Certina.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
have an image from a lot of watches of them, but Mido definitely has some nice watches, so I'm going Mido.
Yep. Okay. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. Epi Wilson is going with Mito. Hobby Bobby saying this bracket's okay if the principle is what brand is best considering its value. Jesus. Jesus.
What brand is
Brand.
best considered? What?
What brand is best considering its value? Yeah, I mean, like this guy, this Hobby Bobby guy.
I don't know what it means.
Yeah, Certina for Symphony. We have a couple of Mitos. Marceau likes them both. Hey, Caliber, good to see you. The Mito Captain Crunch, Mito for Caliber. We're going to run through these. Right now, I'm seeing the poll, and I'm ending the poll on that one. And we have Mito with the win there. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. I still very boomerish, guys. So I'm going to do this probably an easier way, but we're gonna do Mito right there. Great. Okay. Let's hop to the other bracket, and here we have Harry Winston versus Swatch. Now, have you seen much Harry Winston in your career there, your watch collecting career?
A few, right? But nowadays it's really jewelry watches almost exclusively.
Yeah.
I don't even probably very expensive. Most of the
Yeah.
scene is filled with diamonds. That's I don't know how to pick, between those two. It's like one is plastic, one is full of diamonds. I'm
Yeah.
going to Winston, the swatches for children mostly,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the children.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear you. And look, there's some Harry Winston's timepieces
Older ones, yeah. The Opus series was good.
that are pretty spectacular with like
Yeah,
some great moves, some Gerard Perregaux movements in
yeah, yeah.
them, and I'm sure some other movements as well. And very very classy. Maybe doesn't a look that's not for everybody though. Look with Swatch for me, I always will have a soft spot for Swatch. It's when I was growing up, it was the watch to have that or Casio G-Shock was what you wanted, and Swatch very very popular. They seem to reinvent themselves every once in a while, right? And then they've hit some success with the collaboration with the other Swatch brands like Omega in the last few years. So let's see here. Let's see what the crowd. My vote is a sentimental vote. It's Swatch, but I know they're not going to go too further. Let's end that poll, and Swatch wins. Swatch takes the victory. 13 people voting on it. Like to see a little bit more participation, but that's okay.
I don't see
Um,
the poll. Should I see the poll in the live chat? Right.
it's gonna be on YouTube. So if you want, open
I
up
got
another
the I
tab.
got YouTube open on the iPad.
Yeah.
I should
Uh,
see it.
yeah. Well, I just ended it. So
I'll check for the next one. It's probably on the top, maybe.
yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So Swatch takes the victory there. Jumping back to the first bracket, let's go. Okay, we're not going to do the Omega Mito matchup yet. I wanna get some of these guys knocked out of the way. We're going to do Breguet. What's the matter? Breguet and Union Glasuta. Now, hey, we got a chance to check out some Union Glasuta watches recently. Although I think I know where you're going with this, Wolfie. So who do you choose between Breguet and
Reggae, of course. Yeah, that's easy for me.
Breguet? I'm creating the poll right now. Breguet and UG. Let's start that poll. Yeah, I mean, like it's hard not to go with Breguet here, right? I mean, that one of the most classy brands out there, just beautiful timepieces. I like the Union Glasuta. It's obviously more affordable timepieces, but nothing in comparison to Breguet, in my opinion. The trick is with Breguet, right? You always look for it in the pre-owned market, right? I mean, like you can see some really good discounts with some of their models, and seems to be the way to go if you want to get a piece of that really really high horology. So let's see here. Oh, and it looks like it's a landslide. Um, Breguet, Breguet. Wow. Did not expect to see uh, anything like that with the margin of victory there, but very very impressive showing right out of the gate from Breguet. So let's do that right there, Breguet, as I like to say. Okay, jumping to the next round here, the next bracket, Hamilton versus Rado. Wolfie, when you started collecting, did you have any of these pieces?
I did have two Hamiltons, yeah, very early on before I really started collecting.
Oh yeah, which ones did you have? Do you remember?
Oh, one was that came out later. What was that movie where they did the Below Zero, I think the model is called, and the Tenet movie, they had like two versions re-released. I had
Okay,
one. I
yeah.
had the original one, the original below zero, and then I had another one like a gold-plated chronograph, busy dial, like a pilot type chronograph. Don't
Oh yeah,
know
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the model name, but was good looking to me at the time.
Yeah, yeah. I've owned some Hamiltons in my day as well. I always, had the khaki field mechanical, which is kind of a must, right, for a lot of collectors in the beginning, right? I feel like SKX and Hamilton khaki field are very popular amongst newbies who are trying to figure out who haven't popped the cherry per se with a higher price point, who are very
Yeah,
comfortable in the several $100
oh,
range,
nice
right?
watches. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Tough draw for Universal for sure. Um, Hobby Bobby, I'll write some code to get those bots to vote. They're just lurking. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna end the poll right now. And looks like Hamilton. Hamilton with a sizable victory there. So we'll put
yeah.
this
I'm not
over.
a big fan of the Rado look. It's not the brand does nothing for me.
Yeah, I mean, like they have what? They have that Captain Hook, right? Is that them with the Captain Hook?
Yeah,
That diver. That's not bad. I mean,
yeah, not
there's
bad.
some interesting variations of that. I'm not a big fan of all the variations, but there's some interesting variations for sure. Okay, moving quite along. This is going to be a tough one. Um,
This is gonna be difficult.
this is going to be Blancpain versus Go. This is you own watches from both these brands, right?
Yeah, mm,
Um, you have a
easy.
50 fathoms, right? And you have a CQ and you have a panel reserve, um, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Go.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Nice. I thought you were going to go Blanc Pond route, but
Is the poll up or no? Ah, there it
yeah,
is.
there it is now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go Geo. It's not. I like both. Both have interesting stuff, but yeah, if I have to pick Geo,
What did I say, Hobby? You guys are saying Cook. Did I say something else? Did I say Captain? What did I say? I'm known to say crazy things. Hey, Clayton, Watch That Podcast. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're feeling better. Okay, and make sure you vote. So right now we have up is Go versus Blancpain, and I'm gonna give it 5 more seconds. Five. Oh, I said Captain Hook. Okay. Okay. Five, four, three, two, and one. And Go looks like it eked out a victory over Blancpain. So one of the big early matches of the tournament goes to Go. Okay. Um, Heading over to the next bracket, Jacques Droz versus Tissot. Um, Interesting to see how this turns out, Wolfie. What do you think here?
it's not that easy. The Chucket Row has some nice pieces. I mean, as far as I know now, they only do custom stuff anymore, right? So you gotta tell them what you want, and they'll make it for you. But previously, when they were up and running production, they had some good, cool stuff. But
Yeah,
Tissot and its price point is also good stuff, right? It's very different price points, but well, I'm gonna go Tissot because the kind of Chucket Row is basically over, so and they're relevant now. So I'm gonna go.
yeah, but you know what? You know what you fail to consider? Jack Joe's master of the bird watches.
Yeah,
Birds on the dial, and you know
I
how much
think
I love
people
that.
that like birds and other animals on watches are weirdos. So I'm not one of those. I'm sticking with Tissot.
Tissot, sure, sure. I mean, like, Tissot puts out some great. The PRX line has been golden for them. Kind of like brought them back into many, many of our attention. It's grabbed the attention of many of us, for sure, lately. Um, and I'm gonna end the poll. Here we go. Tissot with the upset. Actually, that's not an upset. They're ranked. They were third on this revenue list. So revenue wise, not an upset. But I thought maybe Jacques Droz had a shot here, but I was wrong. Okay, so we're going to do Tissot here. Congratulations, Tissot. All right, now we're getting into the interesting pairings. Let's do Omega and Mito. Okay, Wolfie, I think I know where you're going with this one,
Yeah, very easy.
and I
Omega.
think I know where most of the crowd is going to go. Let's get up there. I think I've been handling this polls pretty well. Don't mind if I say so myself. So there we go. Um, Droz hits in Portland. Okay. Tissot uh, does no bird dials. This contest is rigged. Vote early and vote often. Okay. Maybe next year we'll do in some write-in votes, and hopefully there'll be no controversy with those write-in votes. Um, okay, we're gonna let the voting go on here for a little bit while longer. Gonna count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So Omega's first appearance in this tournament, and they blow out Mito. So we're gonna do Omega on top here. Um, Oops, no, didn't want to do that. We're going to do Omega on top and Breguet in the bottom. Oh, well, not Breguet. With the winner of the Breguet Geo, we'll put in the bottom. Okay. Going up to the next one, we got Longines and Swatch. I got a feeling might be a little bit tighter. Yeah? No? Maybe not. Maybe
Not for me.
not for you. Not for you. Okay, fair enough. Let's see here. Start the poll. See, this is where having an intern really helps. But I guess we don't have an intern. So let's see here. You guys can see what I'm typing into the brackets. Now it looks like you don't.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you see? You can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, Rob front loaded this tourney. Hey, no. I'm just look. I tried to be as objective as I could here. And to make sure that I had everything right. So I got all the I ranked as best as I could all the brands by revenue, and then had ChatGPT do the 14 team tournament. As you see, this is going to be a washout. Sleepy Mito, what a loser. There are 8 slackers who are not voting. Oof, going to end this poll. Looks like Longines again with the 2 top seeds, like blowing away the competition tonight. It's not even. It's not even. Nobody's got a shot. It looks like nobody's got a shot against these guys. Maybe, um, but it's still early. It's still early for sure. Okay, getting down here, trying to get down to the final 4. Here's a tough one, guys. Breguet versus Go. Wolfie, who do you have here?
It's actually a little tougher than most would think.
Oh,
But
I know. I think it's. I think everybody knows this is a tough one, Wolfie. I think everybody is going to have a hard. There's going to be a lot of this. I'm going to take a little while. I'm going to let people have a chance here with the voting here, maybe like a minute or so, because I think some people are going to be thinking about this a lot. See, if you vote, you can. If you don't vote, you can't complain. Absolutely, absolutely. Disenfranchised voters. Brigade here for Mr. Wilson. This is a tough one. I knew it. I knew Chaz. I knew you're gonna have a hard one here. Swatch equals junk. Oh no, J Thor, don't say that. Wei Ben saying, do I choose a brand I like or the one I can afford? Hmm. You know what? This is all hypothetical. This is all fun, Wei Ben. Choose the brand that you like, whether you think you could afford it or not. just have a little fun with it. Um, I'm gonna give 5 more seconds to you guys. We go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it looks like Brigay with the win. 18 votes. Got a lot of participation on that one. So tough for Caliber. Love them both. Have to go German. Uh, Constantly, the Russian bots are coming for Brigay. Brigay all day. Brigay all day. Wow. And so Brigay is getting into the quarterfinals here. Um, Semifinals, I'm sorry, with a victory over Geo and having the matchup of the tournament maybe coming up next with Omega and Brigay. Next, we have two classics here, Hamilton and Longines. And Wolfie, um, what do you
Hmm.
think? So you've owned Hamilton, and you currently own Longines, right?
Yeah, but not Tissot.
Wait, is it Tissot? Sorry, is it Tissot?
Yeah.
Tissot and Hamilton. I'm sorry, Tissot and Hamilton.
Hmm. I'm probably gonna go Hamilton. I kind of like the overall catalog better, but it's kind of close one too.
Oh, see, this guy, he can't come tonight, right? But he's here in the gallery throwing darts. Baltic is better than Longines and Hamilton. How dare you, Dib? How dare you? And we're gonna close this poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and Hamilton looks like Hamilton with a hefty win here. 17 votes. Like to see that. Okay, so let's get Hamilton here. Why didn't I just do this before? Okay. All right. Okay. So final four matchup here. This may be the matchup of the year, right? Of this year, of the stream. Omega versus Brigay. I know you love Omega, Wolfie. It may be your favorite brand, but I also know you love Brigay.
Yeah, but I'm
What?
still going. I'm still going Omega.
Wow. So if you could only buy one brand,
It'd be Omega for sure.
yeah.
And
Wow.
Brigade kind of like there's watches from Brigade that I I like much better than anything or almost anything Omega makes, right? But if I consider the overall brand, what it offers, I still have to go Omega.
Yeah. Canadian Watch Monkey. Oh, I'll stay with Oris. How dare you, Canadian Watch Monkey? How dare you? Wayben Hamilton, hands down. Hamilton is interesting. Tissot is really anodyne. Omega for Wilson. J Thor for Omega. Oh, Dib here. Rolex Species 2, hands down. He's just so angry, that Dib. Uh, Omega will win. I vote for Brigay. Hey, James, what's going on? He's at the San Diego Comic Con setup day. That's awesome. I've had some friends who've been there. I hope you have a good time. And we're going to close this poll 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Omega, wow, with a runaway win. We're gonna give Omega. Um, we're gonna bump up the font size for this guy. Let's bump it up a little bit more. What do you say? Let's go 60. Oh, nope, too big, too big, too big, too big, too big. Oh, nope. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, Omega wins the orange bracket, and let's go to the blue bracket. And this is where I got a little ahead of myself previously. You've owned Hamilton. You currently own Longines. Um, what do you think? What do you think? I think you said Longines, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's easy.
Jeans. That's an easy no-brainer for you. I
Yeah,
gotta agree with you. I think if I had the choice between the two of them, I'd go Longines all day. I've been threatening to one day add a Longines to my collection. It hasn't happened yet. Not sure if it'll ever happen, but you got the likes of the Zulu time, some of the other,
yeah,
the Big Eye, um, chronograph. Forget the name is escaping me, but a lot of great looking watches. Omega happy to see Omega. James, happy to see Omega. Marceau, when is the watches we hate bracket? uh, Canadian Watch Monkey. The question that should be asked is Tudor or Omega. I think Omega wins that one all day. That's my personal. Hey, personally, watch. He's picking all watches that are not Swatch Group. I figured him out. I figured him out. Yep, the Longines flagship line is great. Bobby likes loves watches, but hates loves you. No. I like Longines. I like Longines. Search Group probably has the clearest set of brands to rank. Swatch Group would be much harder in LVMH or Richemont. Well, I mean, maybe we could.
Richmond is doable.
Yeah, maybe we could combine LVMH and Richemont. We can do something like that if the intern, you know, helps out or something like that. Anyway, we're gonna close this poll. Longines with a win, big win, and the finals are set. Longines versus Omega. Let me give it like a little big old font size there for this guy. And so the moment has come, Wolfie. The moment has come to make the hard decision here. Is it going to be Omega or is it going to be Longines? You own both. We know that your favorite brand is Omega. So almost feel like you don't have to say anything, but tell me why you like Omega over Longines, Wolfie.
Uh, I mean, both offer a lot in their price point, but yeah, Omega is just way more up my design language. Way
Yeah,
more models appeal to me a lot,
yeah,
and it's just like I said. If I would only collect from one brand, it'd be a no brainer. It
yep,
has to be Omega. You could buy. There's basically everything in there.
yep. You. I feel like you have your collection. It pretty much covers a lot of bases, right? But I feel like deep down inside, you're more of a sports watch kind of guy, and I think
I
that's
mean,
probably no.
not really.
Hmm. Hmm.
I I wouldn't say that. It's like it's 50-50.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
sports watches, but I like dress watches too.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Omega, I mean, they're not super great on dress watches, right? But there's some stuff in there that even for the dressy side, you could find something, right? Sure, they're bigger on the sports side, but you could find something nice on the dressy side.
Yep. Omega is inevitable, so I'll vote on jeans. Christian with a hot take. Christian, Omega, while ugly, at least has its own DNA. Longines is just pumping out higher end Richemont homages. Wow. Wow. Um, Canadian Monkey, Watch Monkey, hard to beat Longines Big Eye and the Triple Date Moon Phase. Last 18 months, Wolfie has gone fancy. Absolutely. I think 18 months ago, he would say that he was definitely a sports watch guy. But now, yes, you are right.
Not
He's gone fancy.
really. I've always had my pickings from the dressy side,
Yeah.
even from the get go.
Yeah. All right. Well, the moment of truth. I think we know where this is headed. and Omega has taken it. Uh, Strong showing by Omega. Not an easy bracket to get through with the likes of Brigay, Geo, Blancpain. Um, a much harder road to navigate through for sure than Longines. But I think Longines, can hold up its own,
It's
across the
very
world
good
as
in
well.
its price range, right? You could build an outstanding collection just in Longines, right? Going back into the catalog and modern catalog, and it's kind of similar. They have chronos, they have divers, they have
Hmm.
dressier stuff,
Hmm.
really good stuff. But it's just in competition to Omega for me.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, like, very sound
Very
reasoning
good
for sure.
brand. I nothing against Longines really.
Yeah. So Chaz, a big Omega fan as well. But Omega are full of icons and have the technology.
I mean,
Um,
even in Omega, most people don't pay attention to that side of Omega, but they compete in the highest range of watchmaking too, right? Which there's no other comparable mass brand that has that
mhm,
segment where they offer some products. It's really you can go down from where's the entry into Omega? I mean, pre-owned probably around 3K easy, right?
mhm.
And even new around 5 up to 500.
Yeah. Yep. Waven, hey, he felt that this was a predictable from the get go, and sometimes these tournaments are. I did leave it up to the chat. I just didn't. The problem with it was the pre-ranking of the brackets. That was the problem. It was always going to be the problem, um, because like what metrics do you use? And so had to go had to the safest one I figured was revenue, right? Um, Omega, Brigade, Blancpain, Geo, Longines. That's Khan's order.
I'm switching Gio and Blancpain, but then I'm with him.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, like, for my personal tastes, I of course, I mean, I love Geo, and I think I, but I would be like I wouldn't be honest if I didn't put Brigade number one.
Oh,
Like
really?
yeah, I mean, like, I'm just like, I just never think in Brigade terms because of the price point. And even though Geo is a higher price point than most of these other Swatch Group brands, and it's German, so I'm going to lean towards it, anyway. But just for the catalog, with Geo, there's maybe two watches that I like: the Panel Reserve and the 70s, right?
Well, I
I'm not
like.
a big Siku fan. I'm not a big 60s fan. But with Breguet, I mean, you got the tradition, you got the Marine. I mean, you got the classic. You got a bunch of watches. I mean, I pretty much like whatever they put out. I'm not a big fan of the Type 2021, the Chronos. But other than that, I pretty much like everything else that's in their catalog.
I
You know.
think I made a mistake. I voted for Begay because of the tradition is so good
Mm,
that. But now I'm thinking if I had to choose to collect one of each, either just Brigade or just Geo, I'm going Geo, no questions asked.
mm,
Brigade
mm,
doesn't have a diver. Geo
right.
has way more stuff that I really liked,
Hmm.
dressy sports up to high end tourbillon stuff,
Yeah.
really good stuff. So I probably should have voted Geo.
See, the CQ, the one I like, the one that you have, is too big of a watch for me. The other CQs, the 39, I
But
don't
yeah,
like
at
them at
least
all.
if you only pick one brand to collect, right? At least you can get a diver. Can't really
True.
get one in Brigade.
Well, you got the Brigade Marine. I mean, I know it's not like a
Yeah,
real
it's not a
diver, but
diver. It's a swimmable watch.
yeah, but it looks good though. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like Brigade,
mm. No, no,
but
I'm not turning my back on Germany so easily. Come on, come on. Not turning my back. I just got to be
But
honest.
the GO at the very high end is very very good. It's
Hmm.
doesn't show up in the watch media much, right? These pieces expensive, but I've seen a few in the metal, and they can compete with high end Lange.
Does Geo have a chrono that isn't the hideous diver chrono? Well, I mean, the '70s chrono
Yeah, of course.
is great. Even actually, I gotta be honest. Even the '60s chrono. There is someone on the Bobby Legs
Yeah,
Discord. I think it's Steph.
Stefan. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
saw that
Steph.
watch at Karan's a few days ago.
That's a
I
beautiful
told
looking watch.
everybody it's a great looking watch. Katie
Yeah,
loved it. I liked it a lot.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of the '60s like three-hander, but that chrono, I'd get that chrono. I'd get that chrono, for
Yeah,
sure. I mean, but I mean, I think I would still prefer the '70s chrono over it. But that '60 chrono is a very, very good looking one. And don't forget the Senator range. Very true. Senator range. Though some of those watches are big. They're big. But they are good looking
yeah,
pieces.
Bigfoot dress pieces. Yeah,
Yeah,
but still
yeah,
nice stuff in there.
yeah. Well, hey, I think that was pretty successful. Hey, let's touch on some one other thing, and we'll continue talking about the tournament and the choices, guys. If you want to talk about that, and we got a little bit of some interesting news today, and not sure if you know where I'm going to be going with this, Wolfie, but there was a interesting little editorial by Ben on the future of Hodinkee, and Hodinkee has been taking a lot of hits over the last couple of years, kind of like moving away from its original mission, right? As a watch, kind of a collector kind of magazine, to slowly becoming an online dealer and an AD and commercials and ads all over the place and whatnot. And I know they have to get paid somehow, and they were trying to expand the business. They bought Crown and Caliber, and that seems to have not been a successful venture. But Ben, who basically sold, from what I understand, sold Hodinkee, but he's still a part of the company, wrote an interesting editorial today, or letter, about the future of Hodinkee, and then for the time being, not um, buying or adding more pre-owned watches to the Hodinkee Crown and Caliber site, but trying to go back to its roots. Wolfie, I mean, do you think it's a little too late for Hodinkee to turn it around?
Probably not. I think the name is still big in watch media, right? I mean, most people didn't like what was going on lately, but it's still probably number one name from all the websites. It's
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I mean, like, it's definitely the most recognizable
Yeah, so
still.
they still got the name going. If they do, if they go back to interesting content on that site, they
Yeah.
can do well. I think it's just I, they probably ventured into selling because that's where they imagine to make more money. But selling watches is a very difficult business, which they
Yeah.
found out. And
Yep.
so what he's saying is to me, basically what he's saying is they're fine with much less money coming in, right? So
Mhm. Mhm.
you still got to pay whoever works there. And then it's basically advertising based, right? And we all know how difficult that is nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's for people that like to read and watch videos, it's probably good. But for them,
Mhm.
it's gonna mean it's not gonna be that much money coming in.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be as easy as maybe you are saying, Wolfie, and you definitely have valid reasoning to think so. I think they got extremely popular. They caught lightning in a bottle a few years ago, right? When people were, a lot of people were getting into the hobby. Um, maybe people's finances were in a better situation than they are now. Inflation wasn't going crazy. YouTube was becoming more and more popular. More and more content creators were doing things, right? It just feels like, 4 or 5 years ago, there was much more interest and excitement in the watch collecting community. And now, as time has, and I don't know what's going on, I feel like there's might be some burnout by a lot of people. And I think, although interest is still um, pretty high, it's not as high as it used to be. So going and doing an about face here, um, although I think it's the right move to do, I just don't think they're ever going to be what they were. And
Yeah,
and
that's
that's yeah,
yeah, that's not happening just from the competition side, right? There's so much more content creators out there now on all kinds of platforms
yeah,
that there's no way they're going to be as big as they were, but they could still have their followers
yeah.
if they produce interesting stuff.
Colin saying Go has the Chronos. Dib Snooze Fest. Give me a Paddock Philippe. Oh, this guy. Huh. How about speaking of Snooze Fest, Deb? Yeah. Um, they probably fell asleep at the beginning of the stream. That's why he's not here. Hodinkee eats crow. Ben is just lending a hand to bring back the old ways. Steve saying they say you can never go back. Hmm. It sounded to me like they leaned back into the freelance model. At least they still
You're
have
still
all their
gonna
best writers.
pay the freelancers, right? And
Yep.
if you don't pay them enough, you're not gonna get the good ones. It's just it's a difficult business, I think, and I think like some people at Fratello or Monochrome or some other place, they talked about it recently that it's not that easy to keep the business going and make money.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Marceau saying they have decided to focus exclusively on desk clocks.
Oh, yeah,
That's
my
good.
God.
That's good. It's all TGP's fault, says Caliber. He was asleep, Deb. He had some samosas. Samosas will do that to you, man. Samosas will do it to you. Well, hey, that was a lot of fun, Wolfie. I think that went off pretty well. Although
Yeah,
the
we
rank,
could do it with Richmond next week.
yeah, yeah. If you're around for sure, and
Let me
yeah, I
check
mean,
Richmond roster.
Christian is saying COVID surge sales are done for. Their current publication, no one takes seriously because they are selling the watches. I bet they liquidate Crown and Caliber soon. Yeah, I mean, Christian, good point. You put out that you're the leading, watch magazine for collectors, and then you're selling watches as well, and it kind of looks feels a little fake, right? I see where you're coming from. Hey, thanks, Chaz. Yeah, we could do LVMH. We could do and Richemont if we can combine those as well. I'm not afraid to do that. Or maybe we could throw in a couple miscellaneous. We could do like a non Swatch Group bracket, especially if we can like have like 16 brands. That would work out really really perfectly. And yeah, so we'll look into that. Hopefully, we'll get the intern to do some work for us, Wolfie, and look forward to doing that next week. Anyway, Wolfie, thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming on board tonight. And we'll see you next week, guys in the chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the participation. Please, yeah, we'll do it again next week. We'll do it with those other brands, and then we'll go from there. Have a great week, everyone, and see you next time. Take care.
Good night.